I don't like to be cliche, but my big brother is a very strong person, emotionally, physically, and mentally.
He looked like a simp to me, man. I don't know. What's good, YouTube? How's it going? Welcome back for another video, man. It's your boy, Mr. President. How's it going? How's it going? So, before anything gets started, I just want to say personally, man, I'm sorry. I know it's been a few days since I've last uploaded. I've just been going through some stuff lately, but I'm back. You know, I'm here. I'm still doing these videos with you guys. And you guys already know what time it is, man. It's time to get on another series. Time to hop on that boat. Time to get on that grind for these scary stories. So you guys know me. I don't really like to do too many long intros. So without further ado, we're gonna start on March to July and roll the clip, man. Alright, true April Fool's horror story.
It was April 1st,
animated.
2001.
Let's see.
I was at home watching TV when I heard a big bang on my back door. I didn't know who or what it was. Thought it was a raccoon or something, so I kept watching TV. I will never forget what I heard. Someone whispered, "I am coming for you." I turned to see who it was, but no one was there. I went outside and yelled, "Who's there?" I went back inside, and then I saw it. It was a man with a white rabbit mask holding a kitchen knife. I ran to the kitchen and grabbed a knife and turned on the light. The guy took off his mask, and it was my friend, Fred. I was relieved, and he yelled, "April Fools!" Man. I asked how he managed to get so far when he whispered in my ear.
I don't know.
He looked confused.
I'm sure
to my
I've
surprise,
seen
he
this
said,
before somewhere.
"I never whispered in your ear."
I just don't think
That's
I've
when
seen
I
it
knew
with
something
you guys.
was in my house. I told Fred to hide and call the cops. When the cops got there, they saw a man with long black hair robbing stuff from my house. He had a pistol and some pocket knives. The cops told me he had broke out of prison a couple days before the incident.
What a psycho. The guy was eating glass. Who the hell eats glass, man?
Back then, my brother and I used to play with a lot of guns, especially water guns. One night, we got our flashlights and pretended we were the police. It was around 10 p.m. We were in the backyard with my brother's friend playing when we saw a tall black guy.
Yeah, some dude was in the tree.
We were just staring at him. I don't know who he was or why he was there.
I don't think I've seen it with you guys.
Then he suddenly said, "Hey, can I play with you?" "Bitch, please," my brother said. Then the tall guy seemed to go into a strange position and smiled at us creepily.
That man's throwing us some
so
Broward
scared.
signs.
So I aimed my gun at the guy when my flashlight lit up the face of the man.
Oh, man.
I will never forget what I saw.
Oh, he was munching on those things,
There was a big
bro.
X on the middle of his forehead, and the guy was eating a piece of glass, literally eating it and bleeding. We didn't know what to do while we ran back into the house. My brother's friend jumped outside the fence and he didn't come back. We were standing near the window, and my brother told me to call Mom and Dad.
Yo, he cleared it, man. No
when I
cap.
called my mom, I heard a loud smash coming from the big window on the front door.
Bad, y'all on your own.
My brother quickly grabbed my shirt and dragged me upstairs. At that moment, I couldn't talk to my mom because then I would make a sound. We stayed silent for about 20 seconds. Then we heard a footstep near my side. I was about to tilt my head to take a look when I suddenly heard a gun get reloaded. My brother quickly punched the guy. I ran so fast downstairs. We had to live.
Damn. Why
we were almost to the door when we heard a gunshot.
Oh.
We quickly ran to the nearest neighborhood and told someone what happened. We called Mom and Dad and also dialed 911.
Y'all were still outside? Hell no.
When the police came to our house, they found fresh blood trails from the living room to the bathroom. There, they found the guy bleeding to death, as if the guy wanted us to watch him commit suicide or possibly kill us.
Oh.
Well, I don't know, but that was some serious madhouse shit, and I would never, ever forget what happened. Black-eyed woman.
Black-eyed woman. Let's see.
I was 11 years old at the time.
She got punched in the face twice?
It was a horrible event. I lived in Texas, but my family decided to go to California during the summer of 2015. It wasn't going to be a long time, so my family of 6, including me, stayed at my aunt's house.
I feel you, facts.
One night, my parents went to a party. and both of my brothers and I didn't want to go, so we stayed behind. My aunt's daughter stayed with us too. It was around 6 p.m. My parents said they were coming back around 2 a.m. Hearing that gave me goosebumps, since we were staying at a 2-story house. I've always been scared of 2-story houses for this reason. As soon as our parents left, we all decided to eat snacks. Well, we wanted to, but there weren't any. My cousin asked us if we wanted to go to the store with her. Since she was already 19, she could drive by herself. My brother said yes, but I told him I do want snacks, but I don't want to go. I thought that my brothers would want to stay behind too, since they were just 2 years older than me. But instead, they just said, okay.
Deuces.
They all left without me.
Got him.
I was all alone. 15 minutes in, I was sitting on the couch playing on my iPad. Suddenly, I heard a sound coming from upstairs. I decided to check what it was, but as soon as I started to go up the stairs, a glass cup fell down the stairs. I ran to my uncle's room and hid inside the closet.
A glass cup?
After 2 minutes of hiding, the lights in the room started flashing. I could see it from the crack under the door. I wanted to text my brother, but I left the iPad on the couch. Soon after, I heard another sound from upstairs. Well, that's how I knew that whatever was doing all the scary stuff was definitely upstairs. I decided to run out of the house, and then try to ask the next door neighbors to let me into their house for a bit. But before I could, I checked the upstairs window when I got outside, and I saw a figure in one of the rooms. It was a clear image since it was barely 7 p.m. The figure was definitely the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm confused.
I saw a woman with a black dress. She was pale
I thought it was
and had
like
dark
midnight
eyes.
or something. Didn't the clock show
It
like
was as if she
1
accidentally
a.m.?
messed up her makeup and got black makeup all around her eyes.
Yeah, that thing's creepy.
She also looked kind of like a nun. I stood there, watching her for like 10 seconds. And then I saw a car driving in from the side. I moved near the garage and the car came closer. It parked at the house. I realized it was my cousin with both of my brothers. I was relieved. They asked me why I was outside, and I said I wanted to take a picture of the house from outside.
Stupid, bro.
I didn't tell them the truth. They didn't realize I didn't have my iPad when I said this. Once we got inside the house, I followed them upstairs. I was obviously behind them since I was scared. Nothing happened the rest of the day until that night. It was 10 p.m. It was raining. I just wanted to see the thunder, so I moved the curtains to look out the window.
This dude is way
a bit of light
too
came in
curious,
because of the
man.
lightning. And that's when I saw it again.
He looks like the type
The
to get
figure was
possessed.
in the neighbor's parkway, just staring at the house. I will never forget that night, no matter how hard I try. Sometimes, while I'm having fun, I'll stop and remember, and the thought always ruins my day. The thought that the woman from that night might always be out
you,
there.
Man. You wanted to smoke on that one. No cap. True Cottage horror story.
This event happened when I was around 13 years old. I was going on a family road trip with my parents and siblings. My brother was 16 at the time and my half-sister was 21. I don't completely remember where we were going or where we stayed since it was almost 15 years ago.
Damn.
All I remember was that we rented a cottage in a small village. Next to the village was a lot of mountains surrounding the perimeter, and there were probably only 20 houses in the village. Next to the cottage was a small lake that was big enough to kayak in, and to the right of the lake was a small shed.
Oh, you already know.
The shed was very old, and its ceiling had been poorly repaired. There was ivy growing all over it. Although this may not seem scary, the door was wide open and the place we were staying at was all fenced off with a really high fence. This probably meant that no one would be able to come into our property. Later that same day, my brother and I decided to check it out since we had nothing else to do other than swim in the lake before dinner. Bear in mind, this happened in the winter, meaning it would get dark much earlier than in the summer.
Okay.
We walked up towards the shed, and as we walked towards it, we realized that a source of light was shining through the ceiling. It didn't seem like it was a normal ceiling light, but was almost like a torch. We saw the light slowly move around in between the cracks of the shed. Then, in one sudden motion, the light randomly pointed at us. My brother and I were petrified by the situation. We both looked at each other with blank expressions. Our parents were in the lounge watching TV, so they wouldn't be able to hear us at all if we cried out for help. I don't like to be cliche, but my big brother is a very strong person, emotionally, physically, and mentally.
He looked like a simp to me, man. I don't know.
Tremble out of the corner of my eye.
The way once he drew him out, bro.
By telling me what to do, but
he looked like a simp,
he just
man.
stood there, frozen, like me, with a petrified face as the bright light blinded us through the gaps between the walls of the shed for what felt like an eternity.
Bro, what did y'all see?
Suddenly, the light switched off. A small sense of relief hit me as the light turned off, but I was still scared for my life.
She looked like that girl from Wendy's.
Because the light was shining on our faces for so long, our eyes were not used to the dark. When we tried to escape by running in the opposite direction towards the cottage, we couldn't see where we were going. Then, as if the situation couldn't get any worse, we heard a loud shuffling sound coming from the shed. We could hear the sound starting to crescendo as we ran silently towards the cottage. The sound was getting louder and louder. Soon after, I could just make out a hollow voice coming from behind us.
It sounds like
I
a bear,
hesitantly
though.
looked behind me. To my horror, I saw a middle-aged man standing next to the shed with a flashlight in his hand. His hands were covered in what looked like blood, and his hair was greasy as if he never showered once in his life.
He just came
He
off
had a long
catching
beard
a
that
body.
looked tangled and disgusting. In a faint voice, he said, "Come here, child. I have many toys in here. Do you want to play some games with me?"
He's off acid or
He
something.
said this with a creepy smile and eyes wide open without blinking. He looked as if he was talking
And y'all
to
still
me.
there, bro? Run.
I instantly screamed as loud as I could, and my brother grabbed my hand with dear life as we sprinted back into the cottage. We told our parents what happened, and I hugged my brother and sister with tearful eyes. They didn't believe us at first because they were so shocked by the situation and so confused. But when they saw the monstrous man's face
he
pressed
followed
up
them
against
all the
the
way over
window
there?
with a bloody butcher's knife in his hand,
Holy shit.
they screamed in horror and immediately called the police. The police were nearby since it was a small town, but as the sirens came, we saw the man run back to his shed, and unfortunately, they never caught him.
Damn.
They asked us what he looked like and what he said to us. The police told us that a girl that looked similar to me and was roughly the same age as me was murdered last month because of that man we saw from the shed. I can't imagine what would have happened if we stayed in a busy town that weekend, or if the police didn't make it in time. I am now scared to go near sheds after that incident, and I will never be the same. A situation like this has not happened since, but I really hope that man is either caught or is being chased by the police.
I'm having like a deja vu moment.
Few moments scarred me.
I feel like I've seen this, but I haven't seen this. Y'all feel me? Alright guys, so we're gonna stop it right there, man. Thank you for tuning in for today's video. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. But yeah, like I was saying before, I think I'm having like a deja vu moment. I'm pretty sure I've seen the majority of these, but I don't think I recorded my reaction to it. Let me know in the comments, man. Let me know if you guys find a video of me reacting to at least one of these stories, you know, because I'm pretty sure I have, but I don't know. Like I don't know. It just blew my mind. Like this whole time when I was watching the video, I was just like, yo, I'm pretty sure I seen this. I don't know if I have or not. I wasn't 100% sure. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you want to see as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the video. By the way, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in for today's episode. Stay tuned for part 2 from March to July. And I'm out.